So it's the time for Sega. So let's go. Hey, welcome back to the channel. It's awesome that you're tuning in. So in today's video we're going to take a close look at a portable device that can actually play original, let's say Sega Mega Drive or Genesis cartridges. But what can we do and what is this? Because this is the Retrogen. Okay, so I noticed this thing on the internet and was thinking, hey, I need to check it out and review it here on the channel, where this thing is quite old. Yeah, and I mean quite old, 10 plus years. So we're going to be looking on to, let's say, some reviews of this thing. I've noticed that Linus Tech Team even made a video about it. Yep, that is absolutely kind of funny that I've noticed that, right, Linus Tech Team made videos about these, let's say, portable devices. Okay, so Retrobit, they still make all kinds of products and they didn't make any, let's say, portable device. So first of all, it comes with AV out, cartridge compatibility, it comes with a built-in battery and, okay, USB enabled, what that's supposed to be. So 2.8-inch color LCD display and yep, it comes also with a very nice looking package. And yeah, and 2.8-inch, that is not a big overall, let's say LCD display. And yeah, is this thing still worth picking up? I've paid around like 16-ish euro for it, and that was quite expensive, but still, oh, come on, the purpose of review, I just needed to check it out. So my first impression of the device, I quickly later tested it out, and yeah, it's a very compact device, so that's very positive. And the D-pad is also a very interesting one, because this feels so strange. So in the past we did test it out, a couple of, let's say the Sega Genesis Nomad things, but most of them were pretty bad. And that is absolutely what's going on over here. It's going to be in hit or miss with these things. 6-button configuration, so that's very convenient if you want to play some Street Fighter. Unfortunate, I already noticed with the D-pad and this very strange, let's say, smooshy feel. This plays absolutely horrible for games like Street Fighter. Volume control over here at the bottom. There is no strap or whatsoever, maybe in the box. The USB, just the old school mini, an LED indication, and then we're having the on-off switch over here. But unfortunate, the battery inside is completely dead, and we're having a switch over here. Next up, yeah, we're having the cartridge slot. Feels kind of flimsy, not to the point that it's going to be breaking down. And we're having two headphone jacks, one for the AV out, and the other one is going to be for the earphones. So it's kind of cool that they also implemented this. Later on we're going to be in teardown to see what are we getting. But the first thing we need to do is check out what's more inside of the box. And we need to get ourselves a charger because unfortunate, the battery is dead, so we need to use an external power source. In here we're finding the cable, a mini USB. We're having the AV out cable that we're going to check out. And this is the thing that it's kind of cool that the previous owner did save it up. So this is actually a front of it. So, oh man, look at this. Are there homebrew games on this device? I hope not, because most of them are really bad. But at the same time, I also wanted to see what can we actually play and what is compatible with this. Yep, I've been trying out a couple of items and Street Fighter 2 didn't boot up. I have no idea why, it's kind of weird, but that's what happened. We have the Xenocrisis, it's a new game, but also we're having some weird games like the ones you can find on AliExpress with the cheap shells like the Street Fighter 2 in like the Rate of Rage, the combination cartridges like Sonic and Knuckles, and we're going to be slapping on the Sonic 3. So let's see if this is going to be working and how is the compatibility. And of course the flash card, because if you're going to be combining this, oh yeah, it's the ultimate naughty portable device. But how about, like I say, putting the cartridges in, because that can also be a problem. You need to wiggle around to get them out. So this is the fake cartridge. Well, I must say it fits in very nicely. You can pull them out fairly easy. This is the original game. Let's check out if you're going to be putting it in. Oh, it clicks in very nicely. And yeah, that's not bad at all. I'm very surprised because this is one of those common problems we have seen with, let's say, these bootleg Sega things that you can pick up from AliExpress or other companies. Okay, so at this point I'm just going to be using a power bank. Let's check out if we're going to be shutting down the lights or a couple of them in the studio. So it seems to be that it is charging or some kind. Doesn't matter. We have an external battery this way. Make it kind of a portable situation going on. The only unfortunate thing is when you're looking at the display itself, there are some markings and I don't know if the camera is going to be picking this up. So the display is not in perfect condition, but that is something we can expect of after all of those years. But there are a lot of, let's say, built-in games. They also use the Fire Core, and the Fire Core has been seen with, let's say, the ad game system that we've tested out, and a lot of, let's say, different ones. But also when I look Yeah, when this thing is not an IPS panel, the overall quality of the display is quite decent. But we're having so much weird stuff. Dual magic, yep, and all kinds of built-in weird shenanigans. That audio. I must say, I give him some kudos because it goes quite loud. That's something you don't see very often with these things. And pressing the menu button will reset the system itself. And here we're having all kinds of different games. So let's choose that. Yeah, that's snowboarding. Is it a snowboarding game? Okay, the music is kind of funny. Different kind of players, just changing the colors. Okay. Let's see what we can do. Oh boy, this looks really bad. What is going on this thing? Look at this. Okay, there we go. There we go. No, completely messed it up. Messed it up. I completely messed up this game. Yep, I finally hit it. What? U-turn? Wait, why? Oh boy, this is really bad. So let's get into the freaking games itself, because this is horrible. Let's see, which game shall we pick? I think I'm going to be starting off with the Street Fighter game. Okay, the first thing I've noticed when putting in the Street Fighter game, it didn't want to boot up at all. Now we can just see how the display has some markings, but that's actually what's going to be happening. It's just giving me a red screen. I've been switching with the switch over here to see if this is going to be helping out, but nope, this thing is not compatible with Street Fighter. I did clean it, it's no weird. But later on I just wanted to see if we can even combine it. So let's put in Sonic the Hedgehog. Let's boot up this thing. Let's see if the switch does anything. There we go. Let's listen to the music itself. Okay, it sounds completely messed up. Let's give this thing a reboot. Let's see if it's going to be turbo mode. So this switch doesn't do anything. Oh man, this is really bad. Woohoo! Turbo mode. Sonic on turbo mode. Oh man. Yeah, that's completely messed up. That's one thing to be sure. But let's see if we can even, let's say, play some games and how does it control. So far, the sound effects of the rings are correct, but it sounds all so messed up. For Sonic we can actually play this, so that's not a problem. Okay, let's get into the bonus stage. That's one of those better tests, because I have that three-dimensional thing going on. It's going to be like looking great, so it seems to be working fine. I can actually play the bonus stage. The D-pad is not bad for this kind of game. Oh, bad at audio. This is absolutely horrible. But let's see what happens if you're going to be booting up the dual cartridge situation. So this first boot is going to be Sonic and Knuckles. You can just see it works fine. So let's open it up. Let's plug this bad boy in. And let's check out what happens over here. So boot up the Sega. But it doesn't show the second game. And I've been cleaning this up, but it doesn't help. This is just not working at all. So that is one of the things that we have with these older devices, but also with newer devices from China, that we don't have the compatibility of having these games. So let's plug in the next game and let's check out what happens now. Okay, so what I've noticed when it comes to the particular game, the audio speed is correct now. So the switch itself doesn't do anything whatsoever. So let's get into it. Okay. Navigation is okay. It seems to be I can do all of my moves. The handheld is a little bit too small for my hands, because I need to put them in a weird position to at least have a good grip. But the overall gameplay experience, where the audio is pretty horrible, I must say the display looks kind of nice for a 10-year plus device. But somehow this weird, let's say, custom game seems to be working just fine. And with many of, let's say, the clone systems and Firecore situation, the virtual racing doesn't do anything. At first I was thinking, hey, this thing is broken. Even got myself the Japan region, just to check out, have different regions so I can check out different, like say, devices and cartridges. But nope, it doesn't work. Same like with the multi-cartridge. Nope. Alright, so next up I wanted to check out if this thing is compatible with the EverDrive, but so far no good luck. And it's kind of interesting, because normally this does work with this device, I do hear something going on. Looks like something is happening. But the other thing we can do, pull this thing out, put another version in. Let's see if this has any positive effect. If this seems to be working. Okay. Oh! Okay. Something works, or at least something is happening, but yeah, no, this is absolutely annoying. So none of the flashcards seem to be working. Boo-hoo! And the final test is going to be, of course, the multi-game card. Okay, so what's kind of funny, when I'm touching actually the D-pad, you can just see something moving in the display itself. Oh boy, it's really bad. But okay, so we're having over here Bare Knuckles number 3. So let's see booting up, and oh no, no! I have seen this before. So it will boot up actually the menu itself, but it doesn't have the option to boot up the games. Man, what a disappointment. But okay, so let's connect this thing to an old school CRT. And when it comes to, let's say, the gameplay and overall, I think it's a very cool feature and it looks okay. You can just see that the audio and visual quality is not perfect. If you're going to be hooking up an original Genesis or Mega Drive, it's going to be looking so much better. But I'm quite surprised by this, and how actually good it is. But yeah, it's a cool feature with, let's say, the newer generation of devices have HDMI capabilities. It's just an extra fun novelty. What you need to be careful with if you're going to be touching the cable itself or wiggling around, it can give some interference, but so far so good. Yeah. Alright, so let's do a quick teardown and remove all of the screws behind this, and let's check out how this thing looks in the inside. Alright, so let's see how this thing looks in the inside. The construction of the, let's say, dust cover. Oh, look at this tiny spring. It's so fragile, but it seems to be working just fine. The cartridge slot, that is the first thing we're seeing. And this thing also has a lot of the capacitors. So far so good, all the capacitors seem to be good condition. So that's something we don't need to replace ASAP. Okay, so this is an extra cover that goes on over this part. Yep, that we can also remove. We can remove, I'm guessing, the tiny buttons over here, the pieces of plastic. Okay, that I don't need to forget to put them back. So 2 micro switches over here. And there is not a lot of information. So this is the DMC chip. Doesn't say also something to me. You're having the OA770 MB version 30 or maybe 3.0. But so far I can see there's nothing very interesting going on over here. The next thing that we need to remove is this single screw. Okay, so if we need to reach into the battery compartment, is this the only screw that I need to remove? I think it is. I don't see anything going on. So let's check out if I can rip this thing apart. Oh, wait, no. I finally found this second one over here. There's the one. Okay, and now I can remove this part. Lift it all out. Oh, I need to be very careful with the speaker. They put some hot glue on it. They're using the translucent, let's say, membranes, and they're absolutely horrible when it comes to the feel. Underneath the display they are putting the battery. That is absolutely a very strange configuration, and I will tell you why. Because if this thing is getting thick, see, that is the thing what happened. So this thing is thick and doesn't need to be charged anymore. I think I'm going to be removing it just to be safe, because it can be very dangerous with these batteries if they're going to be, let's say, if they're going to be becoming thicker. And the first problem we're having is that it will push into the display, and that can also be the reason why we have these very weird stains. Okay, I just wanted to show you. So when we're going to be turning it on, you can see that when you're just slightly going to push the display on the battery, it's going to be using a lot of force, and that's maybe one of the reasons why we had some weird things going on. So far it has been fixed, or yeah, so the problem was of the broken battery. Okay, so we're going to remove that. But before we're going to be, let's say, putting this thing together, let's remove the battery. So let's be very careful with this, that both of the connections are not going to be touching each other. Alright, so let's cut it. And let's remove the battery. I can always put in a new one later on. Okay, that's connection number 1. And then connection number 2. Okay, there we go. Need to be careful that they're not going to be touching each other. Alright, there we go. I think I'm going to put some tape over this so nothing's going to be happening with this. There is some information on the battery, but there is no measurement whatsoever. 750 milliamps, 4.2 voltage and everything else, but maybe you can find a replacement. It's going to be expensive maybe to get one, or from a local shop or AliExpress itself. And for the display I'm going to use these putty clays just for now. We can also get some double-sided tape maybe, but I think this is a way easier thing to do. We can basically push it in very gently and put them in the right position. So we have, let's say, having some weight underneath, but not the point that it's going to be giving you the weird stains on the display itself. Okay, before we're going to put them together, everything has been checked out. So the display is in very good condition this way. Now we don't have the weird things going on. Also when booting up, we don't see anything else. So there was no too much pressure throughout, let's say, the LCD and the main board. So it doesn't look like super pretty. I don't know if I can show it, but it gives it like enough space. So we can just put this in position, and it doesn't go anywhere because of the sticky clays, because it's not like double-sided sticky, but it gives like a great support in combination with the 2 screws. This is just perfect. Alright, so that concludes this video. Is this thing worth picking up? If you're not paying a lot of money for it, it's just a fun novelty. So, already showing you here in the video that you need to be careful. These batteries and the inside are completely like wore out and we need to replace it. I removed it just for, like say, safety. But for now, I'm just going to play it like this. I can enjoy this because it is a very cool system. 6-button layout. The display is decent enough. And now with the weird stains out of it, this is absolutely so much better. Yeah, audio-wise, I'm quite surprised how good this thing, or how loud it goes actually, because yeah, the overall audio quality is not great. With the 6-button configuration, what I love is that we can use games like Xeno Crisis perfectly. And this is absolutely amazing. So yeah, let me know in the comments what do you think of this. Thank you all for watching. Consider subscribing, hit the little bell, and it would be great to see you in the next video.